Hey, my name's Max Fenning. I'm 19 years old. I'm a senior at the University of Florida, class of, well, whatever switching your major in the middle of your senior year of college gets you, and the president of PRISM, an LGBT nonprofit organization that works to expand access to LGBT-inclusive education and sexual health resources for youth in South Florida. PRISM is at the forefront of providing these resources in a place where young people like myself get more and more of our information online. I've also been to Tallahassee 3 times this year, speaking directly with legislators, testifying in front of our state Senate, and rallying in the rotunda of the Capitol building, not to mention being featured on ABC, CBS4, Miami Herald, South Florida Gay News, Cheddar TV, CNN, Them Magazine, 17 Magazine, and on and on and on. All in an effort to fight against something I'm sure most of you have heard plenty of talk about by now. I've done pretty well for myself given that I'm 19, and yes, despite the fact that I've aged like milk and everyone thinks I'm 24, I am 19. They always say the presidency ages you. I didn't realize they meant all presidencies, but my receding hairline has proven that for you all. I'm so excited to share with you all how I approach the work I do. But first, I want to talk about how I got here. See, before I was on national TV, before I was the president of a nonprofit organization, and even before I was the vice president and then president of my high school's gender and sexuality alliance, I was a nerdy anime weeb who basically just stayed home and coded really ugly video games on his computer. Now, I will say that although I lost interest in anime, nerd culture and activist work are not mutually exclusive. There are still plenty of people that I know who run nonprofits or march in protests and still live and breathe Doctor Who and Attack on Titan. But one thing that has stayed the same, I have always been interested in LGBT rights. Even before I was out to myself, I remember being 10 years old and eating dinner with my parents and their friends and telling them they should vote for Barack Obama because he supported gay marriage. So I was a little grassroots political canvasser from the jump. But what becomes increasingly apparent is I should never have had to be in this position in the first place. See, my generation is more connected now than ever. We're able to communicate, to disseminate, to organize, to take action at breakneck speed. And it couldn't come at a more opportune time because young people today have inherited a broken world. Sure, every generation has had new problems that require new solutions, but the difference now is that on top of that, we face old problems with old solutions that no one got around to implementing. It's easy to look at this past decade and see failure. Climate goals unmet, fear increasingly mongered, and the very fabric of democracy spread taut and thin. The seams weakened by Supreme Court case after emboldened tweet, after states' right debate after Confederate flag wave. It becomes clear that this moment is pivotal. And if young people allow the tides to turn the wrong way, the pendulum to continue its swing in the other direction will leave the next generation even worse off. Minutes before I testified in front of the Senate Appropriations Committee against parental rights in education, more commonly known as the Don't Say Gay bill, an older woman came up to the podium. She talked all about God and what he created marriage to be between a man and a woman, and then she said this: "Should teachers tell children, pick a gender, any gender, you'll be happy? Do we say lie, cheat, kill, steal, you'll be happy? We don't, because those things don't work. Don't diminish the role of parents to decide what's best for their children." Those words hurt. To hear my community being compared to liars and cheaters and murderers hurt. To be called a groomer and a pedophile and a predator, something that makes you want to hold your kids a little closer when I walk by, hurts. It is not work that we should need to do, but it is work that we will do. And what's most unfortunate is the people who created these problems, the people who claim to be protecting children while making children like me grow up way too soon, are the same people who look at us, fear us, and attack. When I went into that Capitol building with a dozen other young people, I was not in awe of the gorgeous architecture, the looming arches and balconies of cold granite and marble, the floor-to-seal, a circle of bronze at least twice my height in diameter. This was not a field trip, and I was reminded of that each time I caught a menacing glare from someone twice my age in the halls, or a side conversation in the corner of the elevator about those people being here. I was there to fight for my right to exist, and exist I did, a fruit fly surrounding the rotting produce in Tallahassee. But through all of this, the only way I have been truly able to sustain my stealth is through support and a team on my side. That meant not just my peers, but the guidance and mentorship of the people who have been in this fight long before me. From those who witnessed Anita Bryant's Save Our Children campaign that bred Florida's legislative session this year, to the AIDS activists who made it through the chaos and carnage of the 80s and 90s. It's not new, it's not novel, but it's time that it ends. That means looking at the people that follow us, looking at the fight they continue on our behalf, and recognizing that if we played a part in their need to take arms, the least we can do is give them those arms to take.